Welcome to this episode of the Fort Polk Podcast. Today we're speaking with Bobbie Parks about professional development for people here at Fort Polk. We'll be discussing how the right classes and training can help you advance in your career and discover alternative opportunities available to you on post. So stay tuned for an informative conversation about professional development here at Fort Polk. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening to this podcast. I am so happy that you tuned in and continue to tune in. I am here with Bobbie Parks with a professional development program. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever they are listening to it. I know when it is. It's morning for us. But
all three is daytime and bright and sunny. We're good.
Yeah, not like that. Not like the storms that we're getting. My yard is like a swamp. It just does not want to drain. It just pools up and just sits there, and you slosh through it and take the dog out for a swim in the front yard. And so how you doing, Bobbie?
I'm doing excellent. Can't ask for anything more.
Yeah, so you've been out hunting and having a good time, and I hear that you got some, three things? One, a bobcat. What is up with that? Why are you? I can't believe that you'd kill a poor little bobby cat.
They sure do look good in the wool.
They do, though. I mean, I love having them around. I was actually at my old house. I had my little. I had just a little itty bitty hunting area, which turned out was great for squirrels, but nothing else. And I had the trail cam up there, and I caught a bobcat on camera. It was pretty cool. It's like, all right, sweet, cool, that's neat, but kind of scared my chickens. So you've got your professional development. You are all over the place with making us take training and classes and CES. What does that stand for? It's Civilian Education System?
Civilian Education Center. It's the Army's way of educating the workforce in a professional manner. And
you're over there by the airfield.
4275, 7438 California Avenue. Come on down and see us anytime.
Anybody wants to go over there and say, hey, Bobbie.
That's right. My door's always open, ready and willing to help and talk about careers. That's
absolutely. There's a lot of people out that I know of that work here at Fort Polk, both civilian and military. Military doesn't have as much of a problem as some of the civilians because, I've been here for 17 years, going on 8. Actually, this is my 18th year here. My wife has been here for over 20 years, like 25 or something. No, 20 years. And, we're still in the same job. Well, I'm still in the same job as I got back in 2005. Luckily, I have moved up a little bit. We're able to increase the GS, but not everyone can do that, and not every position is available to increase or promote from within. And other ways to further or advance people's careers is to not only get all of this education and training, but you can move on to a different job within Fort Polk.
A lot of people don't realize that you have the ability to move around and showcase some of your other talents, and you don't have to be, stuck in one position. You may have to go backwards to go forward. Ms. McCullough told me that one time, and I always talk of it as a great piece of advice. If you're willing to and want to change your career, then don't be afraid to go backwards to go forward and get to where you want to go.
Like going from a GS11 down to a 9?
Right. Just
to move back up to an 11?
Right. A lot of people go from 9 to 7, 11 to 7, then 7, 11, 12.
That's a big hit.
It depends on some of the career fields. But human resources is difficult to get into the CPAC arena and stuff just because of the systems that they use. So a lot of folks will start at the 7 level and work their way up 9, 11, and after 3 years, then they're ready already because they've served in positions of greater responsibility and higher levels. They're ready for those 12 and 13 grades, and so it comes really quick. But you got to go backwards to go forward.
Yeah. My last active duty assignment, I worked with civilians, and the position that I was doing as a military member was actually a 7-9-11 position for civilians. And it's like, oh man, if I could get into that. But, back then I did not know a lot about the system. And nowadays with the information that we can get, it's a lot better. And I know that we could just ask, and you are the person to ask. Between you and Stacy Delgado, I mean, this is a lot. We can get some really good jobs out there, and this can also go for people that don't have a GS position yet,
right?
And that might want to get into it.
Stacy's doing a wonderful job working with our spouses and get them involved and acclimated to the environment of Fort Polk and getting them energized about some of the job openings. And the Army's done a great job of opening more opportunities with the spouse and spousal preference programs. I don't get to deal very much with the spouses unless they're already in the GS system or they come in from the NAF side of the house. But once they open the door, then we're there to work through their careers and help them.
She just hands it right off to you.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. Hand it from one to the other, and let's keep on building that person up until they get into the position they want to get into. A happy career is a happy life.
Absolutely. I've always fallen under the philosophy of if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's right.
So let's get some. I want to get some. I get so confused so easily with all these words and acronyms and initialisms and stuff. Professional development, that is an overarching program, right?
Right. Professional development covers everything from civilian education to career education, anything, that you are looking to become more proficient in the workspace. That's professional, or in your field, outside of your field, or around your field. So it's kind of a broad terminology. Workforce development just is the same term that they use, professional development. It just covers everything that we are, talking about generally when it comes to enhancing your knowledge base. Every day you come to work, we learn something new, and that's what it should be about. And you just apply those skills and keep on filling that toolbox.
Now filling the toolbox, that's a good analogy. Now I've been through some of the courses. I've been through CES, like the basic level or whatever. What would be a good for a GS civilian or a NAF or whatever, just to make sure that we get everything, that we get our toolbox filled? Is there a progression path that we should take? Like you want to take these courses first and then follow on with this? And
the first thing you want to do is look at what your grade is. And let's just take a GS-9. That's a non-supervisory position. You're going to come into the military, and if you came in after September 30th of 2006, then you're required to take the foundation course. All civilians are. It's mandatory.
They tried telling me that I had to take it. It was mandatory, and I came in 2005.
Then you're not. You're a grandfather.
How rude.
Yeah, you're a grandfather.
But I took it anyway. So
unless you have a break in service in there, and most people that are in federal service don't, then you don't have to take it. Can you take it? Yes, you can. Will it enhance your knowledge base? There's probably bits and pieces in there that will. Some of it's going to seem redundant depending on your professional level or if you were prior military and so forth. The second part of that for the GS-9 is the basic course, 1 through 9 for the basic course. You can get constructive credit for it based upon your military service, depending on what level you are. Usually it's a sergeant level and above, BNOC, for that old terminology. For the employees, you can get constructive credit for it. But those are the first two things that you want to look at as a civilian getting done. Meeting the requirements of your grade for professional development in the civilian education system. Second thing you want to look at is the free courses they have on there, like the Action Officer Development course, and highlighting the areas and how to work with staff, through staff, for projects or different things that are going on in the organization or as the Army as a whole. All right. The next thing, you look at the management development course. The management development course in Chartis also gives you an overview on what managers are looking for and how to manage personnel, projects, or different programs. Those all are free, and you can take those anytime, and all they require is you to register in Chartis, supervisor's approval in the system, and you start taking it.
Now, the management courses and leadership courses. One's going on right now, and that's 3 weeks long.
The Civilian Education Center Intermediate Course Phase 2 is going on right now.
And that's 3 weeks. And what should this course be teaching?
This course teaches them the level appropriate with their grade and teaches them the skills of management, product and project management, teaches them communication skills, interacting with other employees, and teaches them about themselves as individuals. They take the strength development inventory, which is SDI 2.0, which is personality assessment that the Army uses in the civilian education system, and happens to be one of the things we teach here at Fort Polk when you take the Forging New Leader course, personality assessment. Know your team, know their strengths, know their overdone strengths, know how to apply the task to the individuals in the team, and how to get the best products out of your team.
Now, would you say in order to be a good leader, know your team and know how to lead them, or should somebody or should a leader be like steadfast and have their followers adapt to them?
No, the leader needs to be fluent. The leader needs to understand their employees just like they would if they were soldiers. You need to understand the strengths of your soldiers. You need to understand the strengths of your employees. You need to empower your employees to be able to go out and execute a mission and not be afraid to fail, but learn from the failures and the mistakes in order to strengthen them for next time. And when you give them a task next time, they're going to understand what is required, and they'll be more proficient, more effective, and it's less stress on the supervisor. The more you train your employees, the more proficient and effective your employees become, the more competent your employees become, the easier it becomes to be a manager.
And the better the job is.
The better the job is, the better the installation is, the better service we provide to our employees and the individuals in our installation, and just work better all the way around.
Now, this Forging New Leaders that you've mentioned, is that a class or is that a program?
No, that's a program. Forging New Leaders came out of the request of Mr. Johnny Beavers, our former deputy, in developing a leadership program here on the installation that could help foster and grow leaders from lower grade all the way up and give them the skills capable of understanding the product's mission and requirements of executing day-to-day responsibilities on the installation. So product and project analysis was one of the big things. So we developed a 10-month leader development course. We went through 3 years of a trial period, and then we went full bore, and now we've been doing it for almost 7 years now, and it's been well. And each year we either add or subtract things that aren't working. And this year they've gotten a bunch more of educational programs added to it from Udemy. They do a shadow with the garrison commander for a whole day. They give projects signed by the garrison commander to do in-depth analysis, working with the team. So they get a lot of things. So the whole program runs out like this. It's 10 months long. It's 10 leadership classes that are given by a contractor. It's Army design methodology. It's military decision-making process. It's operations order writing. It's elements writing, learning how to write the elements of your evaluations. It's IDP proficiency, which you're learning how to apply a developmental program to your IDP, so you're not just putting haphazard things and stuff in there. It's 14 directorate briefs, 14 directorate tours. It's a day of shadow with the garrison commander. And then just the interaction, and then you get assigned a project from day one, and you work as a 5, 6, 7-man team, depending on how many people in the class, to work out a decision brief for the garrison commander, where he renders a decision at the end of the thing to solve a complex problem here on the installation. That's a lot.
That's intense.
That's a lot.
There's no way I could do any of that. I retired as an NCO, which is supposed to be a leader and a supervisor and all that. And, I just never got the the gist of it. I never developed my leadership skills, and honestly, I think I'm more of a individual worker. I'd rather just let me do my own thing, kind of thing, and don't make me lead other people. Don't make me tell other people what they need to do. It's like something breaks, and it's like, you know what, fix it, and they can't, and it's like, fine, I'll do it. Just let me do it. And I just never got the swing of it. But these courses are meant to help people like me, right?
These courses are meant to.
Or do you have to have leadership skills in order to get these leadership programs?
Some of the best leaders that came from people that are so humble that don't think they have any leadership skills whatsoever. But inherently, they take charge and execute and bring people together in a leadership way every day that they're at work. And you really don't see those type of characteristics until you're thrust into a program like this. Then you start to see who's a leader, who's not a leader, who's developing as a leader, and where you stand in that process. And some people just don't want to be leaders, and they like being a follower or an executor, and that's perfectly fine. But the ones that want to progress and want to take charge and want to manage and want to supervise,
they're the ones that move up the ranks and
move up. And right now, we're in the program. We're running right at about 36% promotion rate for the number of people that have completed the program.
Oh, nice.
And that's a huge number when you think about it. If you're looking at folks across the entire garrison over the time period, we've had people jump three grade ranks in about 4 years.
Dang.
We've had people go from 9 to 11, 12s. We've had people that have just moved up one position, but still have taken jobs of greater responsibility outside of the organization. So we're not only contributing to the development and the growth and the succession planning of the installation, we're hoping to prepare these folks to move to other garrisons, other installations, or other jobs and be just as productive as they would be here.
Well, that's fantastic, especially moving up the ranks and the scales. I mean, everybody wants to either progress. If you're not progressing, you're regressing or you're stagnant. I mean, things get old after a while. And I've been lucky that working here has offered me a lot of opportunity to do different things within the same career field. I get to do all these different things and try new things, and I've had I've had a lot of luck with supervisors allowing me to express and go out there and do that. And I've actually taken some of your courses, and I call them your courses because it's your program. But
it's not my program. It's not my program. I'm just the facilitator.
You're the host.
I'm the host. Yeah. These programs are 110% supported by the chain of command here. Each chain of command that's ever been here. Colonel Smith supports it wholeheartedly. Mr. Anderson supports it, and all the directors. Those division and directorate levels and leaders. They're the ones that have to buy into it, and that way we're, helping support the growth of their workforce. If they don't believe in it, it doesn't believe that it brings value added to them, and they don't support it, then no program's going to grow. So, we got to thank the directors and the leadership for supporting this and empowering our employees to be able to grow their careers, because it's only going to benefit the organization.
And yes, a happy team is a productive team.
Sure, yeah.
And the developmental assignment program.
Oh, great program.
Exactly what is that? I mean,
developmental assignment program. So it started off taking volunteers that had key competencies and putting them into vacancies in other directorates and other career fields, and for 30, 60, 90 to 120 days, and promoting them to that next eligible position as long as they met the minimum requirements and stuff, and allowed them to get the experience in that career field. It's now morphed into a whole bigger process of not just having to have a vacancy, but allowing people that are in other positions like PAO go and serve 30, 60, 90, 120 days in an operational position like DPTMS, Plans and Operation Division, or garrison safety, or
walk.
yeah, or physical security and so forth. We got physical security folks that are training as police officers, officers training as physical security and so forth, our guards and stuff. The DES folks, the hardest ones to get managed sometimes because of their specialities, are finding ways to allow their employees to cross-train to become a more effective organization. Hats off to Amanda Pete for taking on that with Mr. Funderburg and really getting that going on over there and stuff.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity over at DES. They're actively hiring and looking for motivated individuals to come join the team. Also,
I got 2 people. First time in 7 years, I got 2 people from DES in the Forge a New Leader program, and I'm hoping that it starts to spread a little bit more because of their schedule and because of the difficulty with their job requirements and stuff. It's hard to get them to be able to participate in that without really, messing up the whole flow of the scheduling and stuff like that. So this is a great opportunity that we have right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they develop and how they grow in that program.
Are there any openings over at the fire department? There are. So that is like the hardest place. Everywhere I've been, it is the hardest thing. The hardest career field to get into is firefighting.
Fire department has a lot of responsibilities, a lot of training, a lot of requirements and stuff. It is difficult. But once again, fire department, they have an employee right now that is doing a developmental assignment over at the Garrison Safety Office. So they're starting to broaden and take advantage of that stuff too. Mr. Person, he started off as a fire guy.
Oh, really?
And then he's worked himself around into different positions to where he is now our director over at safety. So it can be done. Sometimes it's painful, and everybody's got to kind of buy into it because you have to shift the scheduling around a little bit. But
yeah, I think I think some people in my office would probably get upset if I was to go over to a different office and start working for them. It's like, wait a minute, you have to do your job too. But that's my fault for not sharing my experience or knowledge with everyone else. I still feel that it's like,
don't hoard your knowledge.
I'm trying to hoard it. It's job security.
No, it's
they can't do without me.
One thing you learn as a soldier, right off the bat, is that we're all replaceable. As soon as we step out of
tell
the
me
position,
about it.
Somebody else can fill our shoes instantaneous. If we're still here, they'll always tell you, you need to be here. We need you. But if you're out of the net, trust me, the Army knows how to keep on rolling along. That
was actually told when I was over in Korea. They said when I was doing my radio show, they said we don't want stars. We don't want anybody to stand out. We don't want anybody to be really popular because you're going to be gone in a year and somebody's going to come and take your place. And we can't have people sitting there comparing everyone. So, well, you're not like this person. It's like, well, okay, fine. All right. Oh, but I still had fun. And now I'm here. When I came here, it was, I was hoping to do exactly what I've been doing. And, this workforce development is, some people are standoffish and they kind of fight the further education, but everyone that I know that has gone through it, including myself, has always had good things to say about the classes that are being offered by Fort Polk.
Well, we try to listen to what the employees have to say on what's important to them. And then we try to take that voice and then implement it into a training program or a class. Like the developmental writing class, we took a business writing class and they were able to tweak it a little bit to an off-the-shelf class from Kingfisher Incorporated, where they teach AR 2550 stuff writing style, which enhances their writing abilities, which helps the employee write more proficiently, which saves time for the supervisor to have to correct it or go over it, or no, I don't want that written. I need to get rid of the active voice and so forth.
You know what I think would be a really great idea for a class? Memos. how to properly write a memo, properly formatted, everything. I tried writing a memo and it got sent back to me so many times.
2550 writing class. Well, next time we have it, you need to do it because you write memorandums off of. You can learn too, Jeff. You can.
I can't.
I promise you.
My brain is so filled with trivia and useless knowledge that there's no room for anything else. But what are some of the classes? I've done the CES introductory, or the one that I was grandfathered into, but I did it anyway.
Right.
What are some of the classes that are available that new worker or a worker that's been here that hasn't taken any of them, what should they start off with, and what will it teach?
Well, if anybody wants to really kind of start from the basics, you want to learn to be able to write in a format that the military is conducive to.
So a writing class.
So writing class, business writing class. You can listen. Udemy is like one of the greatest little tools they just put out. And in Udemy, they have like 70,000 courses on there that you can do. Then Skillport is revamping its system and stuff, and Defense Acquisition University has revamped its stuff. You can actually go and get official certifications on DAU now and get all those classes like PMP and CBAP, which are the Certified Business Analysis Program.
All these initialisms. Everyone's out there with, what's PMP?
Yeah, Project Management Professional. All these classes are everybody's into certifications now. And if you can get a certification or a degree or something like that, then that's a feather in your cap for education. And everybody's looking, how do I tie some kind of certification to my job where I sit behind a computer all day long and make myself marketable for the next position or greater, for promotion. And some of those programs have to tie into what you do, analysis. So like the Certified Business Analysis Program is like this program where you can go. They're like one of the top 5 hardest tests to take because they're all situational based questions on how to analyze business data and how to put it into a great way for your organization to be able to track and stuff, how to show efficiency and how to give effectiveness and how to whittle out all that useless stuff and how to make things more streamlined.
That's it. The charts, the charts like a Gantt chart.
Like a Gantt chart. Yeah, we teach that in our Excel class when we do pivot table classes and stuff. And that's one of the classes we bring Landtech into. Their local out of Lafayette training program that are really reasonable and stuff like that, because it's all about cost savings.
Yeah, I do a lot of the Microsoft Excel and the spreadsheets and I do a lot of those just for my own organizational problems because I tend to get disorganized. Are there organizational classes to help you learn how to be organized? There are?
Tons of organizational classes on there.
I might have to take that.
Productivity classes,
time
management classes.
Time management. Oh my God! I took the time management class. That is what is it? We just discussed it this morning. It's OPEC? No. It's one is the time management class. And I took it last time, and it was the funniest thing.
OPEX training.
OPEX, that's it. OPEX training. And so we took the time management class, and the teachers were late. It's like, oh, great, time management. That started off the class, and after that, that just made my whole day right there. And I really enjoyed the class.
There's a lot of great opportunities. And if employees have recommendations of what they would like to see, they can always go to the SharePoint site for workforce development. On the bottom, there's a comment block. They can leave a comment. They can shoot me an email, and I'd be more than happy to research and try and incorporate those classes into our schedule. But we're tied to the money thing. So whenever there's extra money that we can get, we try to host a class and keep it aligned with the core competencies and helping the organization and stuff.
That's cool. It's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins.
Yeah, it's all about the color of the money.
The color of the money, green. It's green. I actually found some. I found some money online from. It's like old American money. It's green and red. It's red on the backside. It's
reserve notes.
No, gold certificate.
Gold certificates.
Yeah, it's like a $10 gold note. It's like, oh wow, that's cool. I know the silver certificates. Those are blue or with blue ink with blue print, but I never saw the gold certificate. And it's like, I like that. That's cool. I'm gonna get one, but it's like $500 for a $10 bill.
That's a lot outside my price range.
Well, I would love to get like a $1,000 note or the $1,000 bill, but I can't afford it. Maybe if I took the classes, I can move up and afford something like that. So what are some of the most popular classes that you're seeing?
The most popular class is the writing class.
The writing class for AR25?
Yep, the AR 2550 business writing class. It's 2 days long. That's one of the most popular classes. The Excel classes run a real close second, especially pivot tables. Employees are looking for anything that can help them save time and develop their skills on this data, compilation and stuff like that. So those are usually the most popular classes.
You know what classes I'd like to see more of? The OPSEC 2 class. I'd like to get more of those available so more people can take the OPSEC 2 class. Because being the webmaster and only having people with OPSEC 2 be able to publish their pages is really, really helpful.
You got to understand that because it's important. You don't want to put the data out there.
Oh, no. There's a lot of things you don't want to put out. But so you've got the writing classes, and you've got the time management classes, and you've got the Excel classes.
We teach you emotional intelligence classes in there. We teach the PowerPoint classes. Some of these classes we don't hire out to. We're more than capable. We have expertise in-house to be able to set up. Or we had set up a PowerPoint presentation class for the employees of CYS, but that did not go off due to scheduling conflicts. But we're open to any agency that wants to do that. We can do the strength development inventory class for any agency. There is a cost associated with that because we have to pay for the assessments on there, but we're working to try and incorporate that into a free assessment for the supervisors to use to help develop their employees and know what their strengths and stuff are. So there's a lot of things. If a leader has an idea on which they want to train their employees on, all they have to do is shoot me a note, and I will take it and run with it and try to develop a program or a class for them, and then we'll go from there and enhance their employees' knowledge base a little bit more.
Do you know somebody that, or do you have an example of a person that's started off as a low level GS, maybe a 5 or a 7, that has progressed all the way up to what's the highest or do you have an example, or do you know somebody that, because I know somebody that went from 9 to 12, and I have a friend that worked for the Marines, and she went from a specialist in the Army to like a GS 15. And it's like, oh wow, that's impressive. She was like second in charge of the entire installation over in Hawaii the last time I got to talk to her.
Well, most of our employees here have gone from 9, 11, and 12, seeing a lot of the promotions. CYS and the DFMWR folks, NAV side of the house, a little bit different. We've had them move up in their grades and stuff. I mean, if you're looking at, you want to talk to some of the superstars that have taken advantage of the program, are doing exceptionally well, and I'll just throw their names out there. Storm Tippett's another one of the NAF employees, done exceptionally well. Shana Medea, she's another one that's done really well in her programs and stuff.
Jean DeVille.
Jean DeVille is another one that's done a great job. Gene Graves has moved up, outside the organization into different levels. And, Michelle Stevens, she was started off as a GS9 working over in the SRP site.
Clifford Person
started off as a 6, moved himself up to 9. Now he's a 13.
Dang, that's a nice progression.
Yeah, and he started off in the fire department, as a young fireman and stuff, and then moved up throughout there. Came out of the fire department, and he's taken a number of classes. He's super, super dedicated to employee development and stuff. So he's a great source to talk to.
This is great. Just so anybody that's interested out there, they can contact you over at the airfield. I say it's the airfield because there's just like this group of buildings that is just. That's where they are. It's the airfield.
It's building 4275 on the airfield. It's the first major building on California Avenue on the right-hand side next to the parking lot. We've got a big sign on the outside there, 531-1102. They can shoot me an email or comment or whatever. They can call me, voice message, carrier pigeon.
And it's Bobbie Parks.
Yeah.
Bobbie Parks right there on Global. I don't think there's many Bobbie Parks.
Bobbie. No why.
No why. Why? Because we don't want one. But so you can contact you or anybody that works with you over there to figure out a good progression. You can help us with a career path, right?
We can talk about your career path. We can analyze your education and see where you're going to want to go, what career field you want to get into, and how and the best way to get in that career field. A lot of employees will come over and want to move from NAF. How do they get to GS? We can discuss that. On GS employees, they want to know, hey, I want to get out of the career field I'm in. I want to get into this career field over here and stuff. Like Jean. Jean is a good example. She's in public affairs. Then she went over into operations in DPTMS, and now she's the executive officer.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you want to, move up the ladder to which direction.
I want to be a SES. That's where the money is. But I don't think we have any SES here, so I'd have to move to Washington D.C., and that's not really going to happen. I'm sorry, I'm not into Washington D.C. I like the area to visit, but I don't want to live there.
Nah.
So we got the so we can figure out where we want to go. We can figure out what we got to do to get there. And in addition to that, if you like even staying in your own career field, this can help with management skills, with any kind of other skills like a PowerPoint and writing. Writing is my big one.
We can look at resumes. We can look at your interviewing skills, what questions.
I might have to talk to you about that one.
Yeah. For a guy that interviews everybody else, I can't see how you have a hard time interviewing.
I almost didn't get this job because I can't interview worth a squat. But I can talk to other people, but when they ask me to talk about myself, it's kind of weird. I just don't. I've never felt comfortable talking about my skills or my abilities and all that stuff. I always feel like it's like braggadocious. Big word there. 10-cent word.
You just got to be confident in your abilities and speak confidently in your ability. You don't have to, talk in a way that makes you look like you walk on water, but you can also highlight all the important accomplishments that you have earned.
I've interviewed some very important people like Bobbie Parks.
I'm not important. I'm not important.
But I do appreciate you coming in and talking with us today. And I hope to hear more about more classes. And if you have other classes or of course, you want to get the word out to let anybody know that we've got these classes and this help and this project going on and these openings in other career fields that somebody might want to take a break from their career field and see if this other career field is more my style.
That's right. If you want to do a developmental assignment in an organization and there's not one open right now, all you got to do is talk to us and we'll talk to the director and see what happens. Right now, Public Affairs has a developmental assignment position open.
No way.
Guess what? It's open right now.
Really? I might have to look into that one.
Safety's always running a list for professional development. Operations out of DPTMS usually run some out of there also. So there's always opportunity elsewhere. So,
and we're always winning the fight for talent.
That's what it's about. And let's develop our. Fort Polk has a lot of great people that work here and stuff, and the ones that transition out, are finding that Fort Polk has a lot of things going on here that other installations don't have, and that's something to talk about.
Absolutely, especially with we just started the workout program where you could take an hour and go get physically fit or work on your physical fitness, because a healthy body is a healthy mind, and a healthy mind is a healthy worker, and a healthy worker is a productive worker. I could just go on forever. I'm very good at babbling. But anyway, Bobbie Parks, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us. And
Thank you.
we'll us as in the royal us. It's like, we are not amused. No.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it, and we love having people like you come in. Hey, all right. And I am Jeff England, and we'll be listening at you later. Thanks a lot, and tune in next week for another exciting episode of the Fort Polk Podcast.